every week or so, my colleague Mark and I have a conversation that's behind the scenes. It's called the Content Monsta Behind the Scenes, and we post it on a separate channel under Content Monsta Marketing. But I wanted to share it with you here because it's important as a marketer or as a viewer of this channel, you know that channel exists because we talk about some really cool behind the scenes stuff. It's not part of any particular podcast. It's just we have great conversations and we realize we're wasting good content that we should share with you. So now let's go into a conversation from behind the scenes Content Monster, and maybe you can subscribe to that channel too. See you there.
You're a very, very busy executive. You have absolutely no bandwidth, but you absolutely must create as much video content as possible. How can that be possible? Well, the good news is there are some ideas about how you can do that with very little bandwidth, minimal effort, and big results. All right, Lee, I had this great conversation with someone the other day, an executive who's really trying to figure out how to grow his brand. And he's having a challenge. He just feels like well, two things. One is he doesn't have the time. He just doesn't have the bandwidth. He's chock full. But also, I think he would literally rather hurl himself into a volcano than start the process of how do I turn that content engine and get it going. It just was so unpalatable for him. He was frozen. And so what we did is I talked about with him some sort of basic ideas about how anyone, no matter how busy you are, still has a way to create content that is useful and meaningful. And again, this goes with the whole adage of some content is better than no content, even if it isn't the greatest content in the world. The fact that you're putting out content and sharing the things that you know and think about is going to be better than having nothing at all. But the chances are, if you start doing it and you keep doing it, that content is going to get better and better and more impactful.
Well, check this out. The same executive that says they don't have time to create content is the same executive who's complaining about having too many meetings. Yeah. When the effort can be exactly the same. Show up, have a conversation. The only difference is one of those meetings is being recorded. Boom, you got content.
Okay. I think we're done here. That's pretty much. But I think you've hit on the main point. We'll have a few specific ideas to talk about, the kinds of things I talked about with him that I think are very good for almost anybody. At least one of them is going to hit home for anyone watching this. But it comes to the idea that you're already doing things like you said. And the question is, are you doing it while you capture content, or are you just doing the thing? And it can be that you're having a conversation and you record and memorialize it and then use it as content. Or maybe you're doing something anyway and you're not producing content, but you have the ability to create content. Let me give you some examples. So the first one that I talked about with him was he is already someone who's having sales calls. And I'll be honest, I got this idea from you. This guy has sales calls. Sometimes those sales calls or those introductions or, cute meets, if you will, networking and so forth, he's going to have them anyway. Some will be successful, some won't. The ones that are not successful, maybe that was a good use of time, maybe it wasn't. It's just part of the game. But every single one of them, you're saying stuff, and every once in a while, you're going to catch yourself saying something the best way you ever did before. And you sit there and you go, man, I nailed it. I really nailed it. I said that the best way ever. What did I say again? And it's lost forever. But if every time you get on a sales call, a phone conversation, you have a camera, even your cell phone, and you just record just your end of the conversation, you don't ever have to use that recording. You can throw it away and say, that was garbage. But what if you say something amazing? You've captured it. That is content.
Yeah, oftentimes it comes down to we're doing the exact same things, but how we frame it is what keeps us from doing it or not doing it. For example, if you say, let's have a conversation, that's one thing. If you say, let's have a podcast, that's something else. If you say, let's record our sales call, something else. If you say, let's create content, all of a sudden the nerves go up because you think, We need a content plan. We need a script. What are we going to say? How are we going to look? How are we going to do it? The reality is the first three things I mentioned are creating content. And so I know when we talk to clients, we try to avoid using the word script because that raises anxiety,
Sure.
right? Well, at the same time, the best content comes from unscripted conversations. What we're doing right now, we realized we always had these conversations
How many
and we
times have we
weren't
said, "Oh, we're not recording"?
we should have captured that, right? It could be after maybe we're doing like a post after we finished talking to a client, or we're just troubleshooting something and we go, oh, we should have recorded that. That'd have been great content. Or we could be just discussing a sales call we just had. That was great content. And we realized we have to drink our own champagne and record this stuff. And this isn't scripted. And as soon as you tell an executive that we're going to create content as opposed to document something, there goes, here's an excuse to throw it off to the content team. Say, okay, we're on board. Go write me a script. Weeks go by, days go by, legal gets involved. It gets way more complicated, more than just, okay, I'm down for it. I'll show up and the camera will go on and we'll record something. No pressure. Like you said, we may or may not use it, but we'll capture really good, real human content without the stress of scripting and making a big production of it.
Absolutely, and I'll go one step more than that. We're talking about saying, "Hey, I need to create content. When's the moment I can do it? Hey, I'm having these conversations anyway. Let's record them, and maybe something amazing will come out of that. It's a great use of that time." Let me take it from the other direction. What if I told an executive, whether or not you make a sale, I'm going to make sure that every sales call you have was productive. It added to your sales process and the marketing cycle. No matter what, something will come out of that every single time. That makes making that call feel like it wasn't a waste of time. Every moment of your day is productive. And so if you can turn that into a really simplistic system, like we were just kind of hinting at. All right, every time I have a Zoom call, let's say, or even on a phone, that's fine. I have a camera or a spare cell phone or my cell phone set up on a little stand aiming at me. And I get in the habit that I push record before I make that call, and I push stop when I finish that call. And then if I have any type of team, content team, marketing team, the job is at the end of the day, they're supposed to take that camera, that phone, download or upload all the content from that, and then it goes through whatever your process of reviewing that, transcribing it, figuring out what happens to it. And now you can pull video clips from that. One, you can transcribe and analyze the content using AI or whatever and say, what can we learn from all of these sales calls, the ones that worked and the ones that didn't? We can take those and output articles from the transcriptions. We can create social media clips, LinkedIn posts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if you made a sale, even better, even better.
Well,
But
I was thinking as you said that, I want to make a call right now. I want to talk directly to you, sales guy, saleswoman. Have you ever ended a sales call and thought to yourself, wow, I nailed that one? I mean, that was the greatest pitch I ever gave. That was great. Now, you did that once or twice, whatever. What if you had recorded that? Now, that great sales pitch, that great conversation, that great discovery call is now captured. It is content that can do that same thing over and over while you're sleeping because you captured it. Your marketing team made it, look pretty and distributed it, but you didn't prepare to create content. You prepare for the thing you do great, which is sell.
that's it.